Hello, hello, scrappy friends. There is just something strange going on with my intro every time, but we're here. I'm not really sure what's going on. I've checked that thing. But anyway, the music just stops for some reason. But anyway, I am ready to go today. How is everybody? Happy spring, everybody. I'm about a week late in saying that, but I think our weather here out in California is finally, well, it's typical spring, right? One day it's sunny and beautiful. The next day we have a random hailstorm. So I don't know what's going on, but happy spring. Happy spring. We're going to make some borders today. Hi, everyone that's entering in the chat. Oh, you're just going to be here for a little while. Okay, well, thanks for joining us, Carla. And hi, Gina. So anyway, there is so much excitement going on at Creative Memories. So let's jump into that and then we'll come back and we'll do some borders. Well, let me make an adjustment here because my mute, nope, ay, ay, ay. There we go. Okay, let me try this again. Oh, goodness. Okay, you should be able to hear me now, I hope. But anyway, oh my gosh. Anyway, there is a lot of excitement going on today. Yesterday, Creative Memories put out this offer for a free album cover, and that was so awesome, and it was such a big success that this morning they announced they're going to double their offer. So instead of giving out 1,000 album covers, they're going to do 2,000. So if you haven't had a chance to jump on this, then I would say act quickly, because who knows how long it's going to be here, maybe another day or so. But it's there is a qualifying order of $100. So if you have to spend that to get the free album cover, but there is so many things to purchase, and it's a random album cover. You can see there in the photo how they have those random ones, but I think that's kind of exciting to see which one you're gonna get. But there are so many other things out there that if you haven't yet purchased, then you might want to consider it. So let's go ahead. I'll continue my slides here. Hi, everyone who's joining in the chat. Thank you for coming. So there's a sticker buffet going on right now, and if you buy 8 or more of the mini stickers, or I believe it's really any ABC stickers, so it doesn't have to be the mini one. They just put out a bunch of mini stickers for this buffet. Then you get the free FileMate folder there, and it holds all the sticker sheets in there, the width, or the length, I should say. So that's a pretty good deal as well. And then 2 launches this week with collections. The first one is the Denim Revival, which, not babies. Let's see if here we go. The Denim Revival. And this is a complete collection. No tools were added for this one, but it's kind of a little bit of a bring back. We had denim before. This is different. It's not the same, but it has these cute embellishments, which you probably just saw at my screen here, that are sold separately. The little pockets, they're so cute. I can't wait to get these. I think it's going to be a great addition. Like just a few of these will highlight your album, right? But I like this picture here on the screen because it's I love that inspiration. I love the paper tearing, all of that. It's gorgeous. I wanted to make sure to show that one. And then also they are bringing back an all-time favorite, which is On the Farm. This one, when it came out the first time, it sold out really quickly. So they're bringing it back again with a few little additions, which would be the frame that you kind of see in the middle of the screen there, and also a slight changes to the album cover. So plenty of things to look at. If you haven't been on Creative Memories in a while, I say go pop over there and take a look and see if there's something you can get to get that free album cover. Okay, and if anybody out there needs an advisor, I'd love to be that for you. This is my Creative Memories link right there. Also, it's in the description of this video and all my videos, actually. Okay, couple other quick announcements before we get going. There is still time if you are interested in joining us for my National Scrapbook Day. This is a virtual event and it's going to be on April 13th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We are going to crop all day long and we're going to make 4 double page layouts. It says and 1 border there because that is correct. We'll be making a border into a page as one of our layouts. And also, if you're interested, I'm also having a project work day where we're going to work on all the National Scrapbook Day projects that Creative Memories put out and just create the ones that they have. So both of those should be linked in the description, but now I'm wondering, so I might have to go back and double check if the description, but you can also find these on my Facebook page if you wanted to sign up. Okay. And if you have any questions, that's my email right there. Again, that should be on all my videos. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Okay, so borders, borders, borders. So I got the promotion when they had the embellishment buffet a couple weeks ago, and I got these in the mail and I was loving on these and realized I still had a few stragglers left behind from Vivid Melodies when we had this, and even a few from Botanical Burst. Not too many of the yellow, but so I thought I want to make some borders and some springtime borders. I just love flowers, as you all know, but these could actually, if you swap out where I put the flower, you can put a geometrical shape in there as well, or some other kind of embellishment. So don't think you has to be just the springy borders. Okay, let me flip you over to my overhead and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, let me just make a little adjustment there on my screen. Okay. So the first one that I'm going to start with is I'm going to be using the postage stamp border punch, as well as a little bit of the Shutter Love, and I don't use this blade enough at all, but I chose stamping for this because I was using the postage stamp there. Let me move my coffee out of the way so I don't spill it. Okay. Let me bring my trimmer in. So if you want to grab those, go ahead while I get a little bit set up here. Okay, so I'm going to begin with my base. In fact, I'll put these 2 pieces aside. Borders are great for using up scraps, so you're going to see me pulling in a lot of scraps. When I didn't have a scrap, I had to bring in a full sheet. And I put the blade out so I would remember. But yeah, stamping is not one I use that often. Let's see. I'm gonna put it in facing that direction. So the decal's facing to the left. And I'm just going to create my base, which is going to be kind of a little thin one today for this one. Okay, let me get a little waist strip going here. And actually I want it to go the other way. So I'm taking it out and I'm going to turn it this way. I want you get 2. You can either have it more on the bumpy side. Let me see if I have a white piece. This is close enough. You get a little bit of a bumpy side or more of a scallopy side. Actually, I am going to keep the bumpy side. And I'm going to do 1 5/8. So 5/8 is going to be that next big line after the 1/2 inch mark. We don't have a line all the way down, so I like to just make sure I'm on it down there as well. I think I moved it a little bit. Okay. And actually I'm going to change my blade back before I forget and move on, and then I won't remember. Okay, so that's going to be our base. And for the next layer, I'm going to bring back in this blue water paper. I actually just realized there's a little direction on that. It looks like raindrops coming down. And I'm going to punch out using the postage stamp border punch. And just to remind everybody, there's markings on the front, so I'll just be lining the paper up in there. And I'm actually going to be making 3 of these. I'm going to try a little bit different technique today and see if we like it. So to do that, I'm going to do 3 of them and stack them on top of each other. But you don't need to do 3 of them. You would only need to do 1 if you want. So I just really starting to use this punch, and it just reminds me kind of a film strip. But that's how I'm going to layer it. And the fallout, I haven't had a chance to play with this too much, but this is going to be some fun to play with on other layouts because it's just a super cute little design that comes out. And I was playing around a little bit, and this kind of fits right in the middle of the ticket, admission tickets punch. So putting those aside, but I don't really know. They'd make cute little embellishment things to tuck into your embellishment cluster. Great to kind of decorate on top of. I think there's going to be some great uses for those. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 of these, and that's 2. Let me clean off my edge here. Not that it would matter a lot, but. So who's getting into springtime crafting? Not cleaning. I've actually been doing that myself as well. Spring cleaning, gardening. I'm kind of getting close on some of these edges, but we're stacking them so it won't matter too much. A lot of spring activities. The weather's been so nice. It's been fun to get out and garden, go walking. What have you guys been doing for spring? Okay, let me put this one aside in case we need it again. Okay. Now I'm just going to, like I said, stack all these up. The reason I'm doing that is I just want to kind of give it a little bit of dimension. Okay. Put this one. I have to change my glasses around here. The other ones are just not that great for looking down anymore. Okay. Just lining them up. This works with cardstock too. You get a little bit thicker of some dimension, obviously with cardstock. Okay. Just spreading that out. And lining it up. And I tried doing this with, so I wouldn't use all my pattern paper with some cardstock, but I didn't like that you could see it through it. So using the same color cardstock, pattern paper, then I mispunched it right there. I'm gonna have to trim that a little bit. Then you don't notice those little things anymore. Let me try to readjust it before I trim it. When I used the cardstock, I felt like I was really pulling on it and trying to get it to adhere. Yeah, this is off just a tad. Let's start over. There we go. Like I said, not necessary. I just wanted a little bit of dimension. You had snow in Colorado. Oh no. What on earth happened here? we have a big one, a small one, a big one, and here I have a big one, and a small one. Did I just really not pay attention on that last one? I'm just going to flip it around. Very interesting. That's why it wasn't fitting. Huh, what did I do? I'll have to rewatch the video and say, what did I do to miscut that? I don't know how I did that. There we go. Yep. You have to wait for that snow to melt and get out there. Oh, yeah. We had this freak hailstorm the other day, and I can't imagine. Well, obviously, I can't imagine if it snowed in my area of California. That would be crazy. But it has happened. Not in the spring, usually. Okay. And that's going to be my next layer and my punch out. So let me see if can you see how it just added a little bit of dimension? I would never be able to get foam squares under there. It would take forever, so that's why I did the 3. And I think I'm going to turn this around so my little seam that I created there, it's on this side because I'm going to decorate more heavily on that side, so it'll be perfect. I could cover that right up. Okay. And we are going to make some companion pieces to go with our borders today, so stay tuned for that. We'll make them right after we make the border. Okay, so here's my base and my layer, and let me go ahead and adhere this one down. I'm gonna go a little heavy on it because so it holds it down a little bit better. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're going to decorate. So I brought in some, I'm going to put my journaling card, figure out my journaling card, but I did bring in some flowers, and I dipped in a little bit to my new blue pack for today, but mostly these are older ones. Okay. And I'm just going to create a little bit of a cluster right here. And like I said, I'm going to actually start right where I have that seam. So that'll be perfect. And I'm just going to build up a little cluster. I love these yellow ones. This will be the end of my yellow pack, except for the petals, which I'll show you in a minute, because I'm going to use petals for something else. But the petals were kind of difficult for me to use. I don't know if you guys had this set, and let's save those ones for my companion piece. Let's see. The blue ones are beautiful though, aren't they? I'm gonna grab a title. I have it laying right here. I like this one that said Wildflowers. This is from Endless Meadows. I just brought out all my older product too. Why not? I'm just looking here to see if there's anything else. I love that dragonfly. And I think I'm going to put the wildflower right here. So you would just want to decorate anywhere you would want to, and any theme that you would want. I just want flowers, so I picked the wildflower title. But you see how you could throw in some geometric shapes there. I'm going to get some foam tape. I'm going to use squares actually. And get this popped up onto some foam. Let's put a big one right there if it'll fit. Still a little cold in my room today. My fingers are cold. There, it's gonna look something like that. And let's see what else. This one I was thinking, this was a little heart that came with some of these. And I'm just bringing in my spring color. So this one I wanted to kind of go more on the yellow side. Let's move that for the other side. And I'm gonna bring in the Shutter Love border making cartridge. I love with these cartridges like this to just punch them out and use them as little tucking pieces in my embellishments clusters. And that's what I'm going to do with this one. I'm just going to punch out one punch. So I'm just sliding the paper in backwards. I'm using it like a handheld punch, and I'm just going to pinch it and then turn it over to punch it so that I get all the fallout out. I'm going to do 2 so I have it ready for my companion piece. And a little heart comes out, which I do want to save. And this one stays in because it's a chain. So I need to, and I'm not punching the whole thing, so I will need to cut that out. So I just snip it right on out. I'm only going to use the camera today. I'll just come back and cut the heart out later and put it in my embellishment box for another project. Let's move all that up there. And then I'm just going to take the little camera and maybe tuck it in over here. And then I had one more heart, so I might as well use it. It came out, and I think I'm going to put it right up here. And there we go. So I love this postage stamp. It reminds me of a frame, like a film strip, and that's why I thought of the camera. But so let me see if I could. I'm going to get all this glued down. I'm actually going to use a little wet glue, because what I could do is tuck the wet glue under, and then I could not have to move it all so much. Maybe my wet glue is a little cold too today. Oh, Gina, not yet. I'm working on that, actually. Gina's asking if I have a website to resell some retired products, and not yet. Definitely working on it. Of course, it just takes time, right? This glue dries clear, so it's okay if I do get it on everything else. That's what I love about it. This one is the tacky glue, but it's getting harder and harder to find. And I'll get a little piece, a little bit right here. I would probably use my pen normally for the small one, but since I have this glue out, and this one I can use my Repo. Okay, let me cover this back up. Okay. And I had it just about here. Yep. There we go. There's our first, oh, I want to put my journaling card. I was going to, I want to do something different and put my journaling card up here. And hopefully when I use this border, I won't have too much to say. So what I'm thinking is, I want it only coming out the bottom. This one will be a vertical border and it maybe use across the top. So, or maybe in the middle of a page, but I don't want it popping off the top. This is just a scrap from another card. Actually from a non-spring, that's funny. This was from Riveting, I think. Okay, so my idea is to come in right here. So if you needed more journaling than that, then maybe not put it here or have another spot somewhere on the page, because that will be a problem if I have a lot of journaling. I'm actually a person of few words when it comes to my journaling. Especially if I'm doing older albums, I really have to get better at that. There we go. That's the first one. Now let's create the companion piece. So with my companion piece, I want to bring in a lot of the colors, and the elements that I used here. So for sure I want to bring in the postage stamp. Probably won't do it 3 times. And the Shutter Love cartridge, that's why I punched an extra one, and our stamping blade. So I'm going to bring in my paper, and this time I'm going to bring in a little bit of the yellow. Now the paper I'm using today is from the Birds and Blossom collection that just launched a few weeks ago. It's the Spring Creative Memory Spring line for this year. So it has this corresponding yellow, which I thought I'm going to do it a little bit different than the border, because you know I don't want them to be an exact copy of each other. So let me put that aside for a moment, and I'm going to start with the blue. This time will be my base, and for that I'm going to do put my stamping blade back in, and let's see, I don't need that wide of a strip, so let's turn it this direction. And again, I'm going to go 1 5/8. And let's see, I'm going to go 6. Let me take off a teeny bit. So we have a little postage stamp all around. 6 1/8. I'm going to leave this for a minute. I'm going to come back and trim it because I want to make sure I'm not over trimming it. Bring in my postage stamp. And now I don't want to do a whole border, but what I would like to do is a small little piece of the border, the same one. So I would either choose 3 or 5, but somewhere, you know, I like those odd numbers, so I would do a 3 or a 5. So I'm going to do a 5 open spaces. So let's see, I'm going to get probably 6 and have to cut one off, but that's okay. One more. Of course, you certainly could use all 6. Look how cute this one is with the little plaid. That's cute. Okay, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and cut it right here. And now I can trim down my blue now that I see how big I want it. And let's see, that's 6 1/8. Okay. Change that blade back. I don't want to forget. You guys know I would. Go do the next border and then I'll be sad. Okay, yep, I'm going to adhere that right there. Okay. And the reason I went with 5 on mine, and you could decide on yours. If normally I think I like 3. I like 3, but I wanted to go a little bit longer this time because I'm going to bring in the stickers from this Birds and Blossom collection. Has the word spring right there, and that's how I'm going to bring in the green to go with my first border. And I'm just going to put a letter in each area. Grab my tool in case I... Oops, let's pick that up. Okay. I hope if you're not having spring weather that these will get you in the mood for your spring weather when it comes. Oh my gosh, there's 6 letters in spring, Diane. Oh goodness. Okay, who was gonna stop me? I'm gonna cheat. Oh. Was anybody catching that? It wasn't until I was thinking, oh, the N will fit perfect right there because it's bigger. And so much for my odd number theory. Oh my goodness gracious. There we go. Good thing I had one extra big area right there. Okay, gotta stop for a drink now because that one caught me by surprise. Because I would have preferred to do keep it at 5 because I want that odd number. And if I got to 6, it's going to be way too long. It's like might as well just do the whole border again. Okay. Yeah. Sharon, probably a couple of you were going, Diane, you're going to run out of room there. Okay. Well, not quite what I planned, but that's okay. It's going to look cute when I'm done anyway. I'm going to like it. Okay, so now I'm just going to build a little cluster down here, kind of to match what I have there. I have a different flowers. Let's see, don't want to go up too high and cover my beautiful letters. I'm going to go right here between the R and the I. Maybe it'll help keep that space that I just messed up there to not be so obvious. And then tuck this one. Yep, I'll do that. There we go. And then I had this left over from another garden collection. I think it was Painted Garden. Don't want to cover up my letters too much. I could bring up the I a little bit. That's what I can do. This one just says smile. When I make borders and don't have a page specifically for them, I like to use very generic icons. And then I'm going to bring back in a camera. That's why I went ahead and cut 2, and I'm just going to tuck it here. Okay, and I want to incorporate the heart. And I might actually put it right here to transition that between the 2 items right there. And then the last thing I want to do is bring in some gems. These are left over from my Botanical Burst. This little flower is super cute. It has little dots on it, but you could barely see it. So I want to bring in the yellow more on the companion piece because over here I have this bright yellow flower, and I thought, well, I want to kind of still bring in some yellow over here. So there's a bunch of yellow ones on here. I just have to decide. I guess I'm keep putting that one back on, so we'll use that one. And I'm just going to put it right there in the center, kind of give a little bit more definition to the little flower. Whoops, I'm going to straighten it out. There we go. And that's my companion piece. And you could actually reverse these if you wanted to. Put one on one side if you wanted your title to be spring on one page, and then the actual border on the second page, or however. But I probably would do that maybe, and then my journaling box would end up on the other side. But it's also cute to keep them like that and have your main border here and the spring over on the other page. Okay, there we go. That's number 1. Let's move on. Let me clean this up a little bit and we can move on to number 2. I'll move these out and bring them back in at the end. And we can see all of them. I think I need the sticker sheet again, so I don't want to put it too far away. Okay. For number 2, I'm going to bring in Leafy Vine. Let me take some of this off too. Actually put these in my tray. And River Waves. Another one I haven't used in a while. This time I'm going to bring in the Banner border making cartridge and the butterfly. Can't have spring without butterflies, in my opinion. And one more piece of cardstock, or shimmer paper actually. Okay, my notes. You don't need to see those. Okay, let's put this aside. This one I'm going to use mostly just cardstock. I don't have any pattern paper on this one. Let's see here. So let me start with white. White's going to be my base, and for my base I'm going to use River Wave. Another one I haven't used in a while. I love this one, but I just don't use it. I guess we just get going on the new next thing, and then we have to remember to come back. Okay, this one I'm going to punch out 3. I'm going to punch out 2 for the border and 1 for the companion piece. So give me a minute on that. Why does my paper feel a little thicker? Whoop, did you see that? It moved. There's a triangle on this one. If you get lost like I just did, there's a triangle and you can line it up that way. Okay, that's one. Flip it over. Oh, so you're going to have lots of rain. Good day to scrapbook, right? Yeah, we're anticipating rain for the weekend, but it looks like it'll mostly be in the late night time, so let's hope so. And I got a little bit of I moved the punch a little bit. It is still going to work for what I need. Thank you. Yeah, we're on our second one. Okay, we punch out one more. I don't think I'm gonna have a full one on the other side because you know how I feel about that. So, but let's see. Nope, I'm gonna do one more. I do want a decent amount to play with. I'm just gonna finish it off. That's gonna be good. Okay, let's put that aside for our companion piece. Put our white aside here. I think we'll be done with that. Okay. Before I build more on the base, I'm going to punch out a green. This is Kelly green, and use Leafy Vine. This is a nice bright green for springtime. And I think, yeah, I'm only going to do one of these. I'm going to bring the green into the companion piece using my embellishments. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my two punch outs from the River Wave and I'm going to put them together like this. Let me bring my mat in. Put it on my mat because I am going to use my repositionable tape right down the center. And I'm just butting them right up next to each other to make a thicker piece. And then I'm going to put the repo right down the center. It's okay if it moves a little bit, I think we're gonna find out. But let me clean this up just a tad. Okay. And then I'm going to use this leaf to kind of hold it in place. So I'm going to put it right down the center. And that should hold it in place. I did try, I was thinking to put little pieces of chips right here. And you can, but it holds together pretty well by doing that. Okay, so that's going to be my base and my layers. And I'm going to just decorate now. That's a quick one. The last one took a little longer because I made those 3. Okay, let me put this aside and I'm going to bring in my embellishments for this one. Let's see. Again, I'm just using up some older supply, but this is new from the new packs I got last week. Mine came late. That's why I'm saying last week, but I think it was a couple weeks ago when we when that first came out. Okay. And I'm going to bring in some purple. I mean, I have purple laying here too. Some pink. This is Rose Shimmer, and I'm going to punch out a few butterflies. I think what I'll do is I'm going to turn it upside down so I could see it. Use a little less paper, maybe. Let's see. I'll punch out 3 of them. There it is. And I'm just checking underneath so I can go over and use as little waste as possible. Uh-oh, I don't like that one. I got a little too close. Let's try it like this. Okay. And while I'm punching, I'm going to go ahead and punch out my banner. You guys have been probably seeing me use this one a lot. I'm not even sure I've used it as a traditional banner, a border cartridge yet. I've been using it as a handheld because I love the little banner that comes out. But I think I need to do that. I need to use it because I've seen some cute banners, borders using it. But I'm just going to punch out 3. Turn that around. There we go. And put that there. Okay, now we're ready to build our border. Got up all our elements here. And I'm ready to decorate. So I'm just going to take, I have the big flowers and I only had 2 of these. So I'm going to kind of stagger them and put one toward the top and then one toward the bottom like that. And then I'm going to take 2 flowers because this is a pretty big one. So I wanted to take, I got 2 smaller ones, a medium and a small one. And it's going to be my 3rd little area. So you could do whatever flowers you have, just stick them on there or any shapes that you prefer. Okay, and then I'm going to take these leaves and put them underneath the big flowers. Kind of highlight that a little bit. And then this one, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to have things protruding off both sides. So if it's not going to fit on your page, then maybe you would only want to do it on one side. so that it's all going this direction instead, so that you don't have to keep so much room on the other side. So it would look equally as nice. But I'm going to tuck it like this, and what I'll do is probably come a little bit higher up so it's not going way out. Okay, and then I'm going to come back through with my butterflies. I love to do that where you bend up their wings. It just adds a little bit more dimension to your page, and I'm actually going to scoot this down, scoot that up, and then put the butterfly up here. And I'm going to scoot this down just a tad, and I'm only going to probably put 2 on there. Well, let's see. Do we like 3? I think 3 is going to get a little heavy. Oh, that's not bad. I'll keep 3 there. I was thinking to keep 1 for my companion piece, but I could punch out another one. And then I'm going to take my little banner pieces and come back through and also tuck those under the flower. And you could either have it coming over the top of the leaves or just bring the leaves over. I'm not putting anything on these banners. I'm just using it as a little embellishment piece. I'm going to put it on top of my leaf. Like that. And then I'll come back through over here and stick one under this side. Again, if you didn't want it on both sides because it's going to take up too much room on your page, you want to consider that. And then one more right down here. Okay, and there we go. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this, and then I'm going to come back in with some finishing touches, some gems. I pinched my finger. It hurts. Okay, let me go ahead and get these adhered down. Butterfly is another one we haven't used in a while. Well, I guess because spring, I would probably do more spring stuff with it. And you know what? Let me go ahead and adhere this too at the same time. What side did I put that on? There we go. And some on the leaves. Yeah, this one is super springy, isn't it? I'm going to come down just a tad. I might have to come through with some glue later, but for now, this will be good. Okay. I love the little banner coming off the edges. It adds just that little bit of something, a little pizzazz. And if this is too much, I would maybe cut back a little on the butterflies. I was thinking only 2, but if you think it's getting too much for you, take some of the elements off. Okay. And one more. And then obviously you can see I'm just staggering it down the border. So I have some going this way, some going that way. Okay, let me bring in some of these gems, because what I want to do is take a big one and put it right here. This one doesn't really need it because it has a lot of other prettiness there, but it really just adds a lot to it. So I like it better on the bigger one than I would on the smaller one. The smaller one's darker, a little darker, and already has its little pop. If you really wanted to gem this up, you can come back with some little ones. I love to do that and put it in the center of the butterfly. But I think what I'm going to do is maybe incorporate some of these smaller ones and just kind of sprinkle them around the border in a couple areas. So I have one here, and then I'll count that big one. I'll add one more, and I'll probably come up here somewhere and just randomly place it like right there. This one, there we go. There we go. And that's our second one. Yeah, that's what I think too about the river wave. It looks like a trellis. Okay, so let's create a companion piece to go with this one. So I have my river wave, and I'm going to just need a small piece of this. So I'm trying to decide, how big do I want this? Let's build it over here and see. 4 inches? I think I want it a little bit bigger. I could always trim it down. So let me trim it about here. It's a little more than, it's about 5 inches, but I think I might be trimming that down. Okay, so I'm going to start with a piece of the river wave to match this, right? Our goal is to kind of bring in a lot of the elements and the colors so that we could match, so it looks the same but different. And then here's where I'm going to bring in, I don't know if you guys remember these petals. I went ahead and did this ahead of time, but I'm going to show you because these I have them in yellow. It's all I have left of yellow now is because I used them on that first border, are the petals. And the idea is you take these petals and then you arrange them in a flower shape. Cute idea. But for me, I was fussing with these. I've always fussed with these. I don't know why, but they're super cute and they make cute little flowers. So I did that with the pink one to bring in the pink flower like I did over here. I didn't have any more pink. Oh wait, did I have pink flowers? I don't think I had. I had one more of this, but nothing big. But I like this one, so I'm gonna put that there. I glued it and then I put a little piece of cardstock back there to kind of keep it together. I guess I was really nervous it was gonna come apart. I tried it with the Repo and it didn't work out that well for me, so that's why I'm just saying I used a little bit of wet glue. Okay, and I probably will trim this down now. Well, let's finish. I just want it poking out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to put that flower there, and then I'm going to come back in with this flower. In fact, I'm going to pop this one up onto a foam square. Yeah, we can do that. Oops. Let's go ahead and get, I don't know if this is gonna, I'm probably gonna need some wet glue for this one. Let's bring my mat back in. And we'll go ahead and get this adhered down so we can move it around. And I think it kind of, there we go, pops up a little bit. And then the foam square can go here. The one with the foam square goes right there. And the leaf, I'm going to take the leaf and go behind and bring it out that way. And I am going to trim this down a little bit. Let's try this one. Yeah, there we go. And come back in with a gem, of course, because I want it to match over there. And put it right here in the center of the big flower. It's going to give that flower a little bit of a finish, because if not, I would need to put something there, because where all the petals met, I wasn't really liking that part. So I'll cover it all up with a gem, and the big ones were perfect for that. So here's the companion piece. I want to make sure it's still a little bit wet, but you could also do maybe some word stickers coming out the sides if you wanted to. But that's how I'm going to leave it. I love it. It's dainty, it's small. And if I wanted to incorporate a butterfly over here on this page, I would probably do something like this, since I have this one here that I kind of chopped off his wing a little bit. Still usable. I would probably do something like this. I'll have it on my page, and then I would put the butterfly going off like that. So that's what I would do. Excuse me. So that's the second one, the border and the companion piece. And I'm just going to start cleaning this up a little bit, and we'll go on to the third one. How many of you used those botanical bursts? Had those back from when we had those, and those big flowers. It comes in handy for something like this. Definitely, I liked it. They're just for some reason a little bit wonky for me to use. I'm sure it's user error. Let's put that aside. Okay, that was a pretty easy one. And let's move on to the next one. And I'll move this one aside, and we'll bring it back in at the end, and I'll show you all of them one more time. I'm going to bring in the new fresh flowers. This time I'm going to bring in the scallop blade. Spring leaves, border punch, and my scraps. Okay, let's see here. First thing I want to do is let's get a little organized here. Let's pick this off. I'll do the punch out first, and then we'll come back and make the base, because I'm going to use spring leaves. And these two are newer. And I'm going to punch it. I'm going to punch it twice on the same border. And you guys probably have seen this trick. This is a trick. This is a frame punch. So, but if you want to get it to alternate on the same border, then we're going to punch it out first using the black lines on the front. And then we'll come back through and flip it over and give it a staggering look on the other side of the same piece of paper. Just thinking I probably should trim my paper first. I might have to do that actually. So I want to do that because I want to give you guys the measurement, because there is a certain measurement that I like to use. Got so excited about my punch. I should have told you that at first. I like to use 3 inches. A lot of times when I do this, I do 2 3/4 inches, but I think I wanted, I was playing around and I like it better at 3 inches. I could probably still use that piece, but I want to show you guys the right way to do it. Okay. This is parakeet shimmer that I'm using, if you're wondering. I'm going to give it a little bit of a shimmery look. Okay, so again, I'm going to do that all over again. And punch a straight border, following that black line in the front. And I keep saying that because when I come through the second time, it'll be a little bit different. And normally, like I said, I would do a little bit smaller of a beginning trim, but I want a little bit down the center. Okay, so now I'm going to flip it over and bring it into my punch. Let me grab a sticky note. And just to help me guide it in. Oh, I don't need a sticky note actually. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. Because I'm not going to use the lines on the front. The second time I come through, I'm going to bring it to the silver line on the side of the base of the punch. That's what you may use if you're going to make a frame. So the first time through, I used the black line on the front, but this time I want to give it an alternating pattern. So I'm going to line it up with the silver part on the side over here. This is the trick. It'll work with all of our frame punches, and it'll give you this alternating look. Ooh, I think I need that coffee more than I thought I did. And the reason I went with the 3-inch this time, you'll see here in a minute, is I wanted a little bit of definition in the center of the punch. If I went with a smaller one, they were going to be really close together. Why do I feel like that's not? Okay. The last one's going to be, it's okay if this happens. It just means it wasn't exactly lined up. You could just pull it right off. It's going to be a little half of a piece, but we're going to come back and clean that up. And to take care of this part right here, we're going to come back to the other side of the punch and slide it in and do that. Okay. And now you don't have to do this, but I want to, and I'm going to come back and clean this up just a little bit. So there's a little leaf kind of going that way. So I'm just going to kind of keep going with that same direction and make that a little more pointy. And over here, same thing. There's a little leaf right here, and I'm just going to kind of fussy cut that little section off. Not a big deal. Not going to change the look of this border at all. But there's our punch out. It looks really good when it's on some solid cardstock, is what I found. I have a hard time seeing the pattern when I have it on a pattern piece of paper or something. So that's why I went with a solid here and a solid here. It really makes those leaves pop out. Although I'm not going to use white. I just wanted to show you. So this is going to be my layer, my punched out layer. I'm going to come back now with a base, and what I'm going to bring in is the dark green. It really makes those leaves pop out. Okay, so let's bring our trimmer in, and I'm going to change my blade to the scallop. Yeah, I love doing that with our frame punches. It works on all of them to do that offset and go and kind of stagger it back and forth. Okay. And for my base, I like it to be really tight in there. So this one I will be trimming to 2 3/4. 2 3/4 because, and I'm using the scallop blade just because this has a lot of ripples in it, and I thought that would be cute. A straight blade would be just as cute. Okay. Change it back so I don't forget. Okay. And it's going to go like that. I think it really, staggering it actually just pops out that pattern a lot more than it would if they were just lined up. Okay. Let's put that up there. And then let me go ahead and adhere this actually. Why not? And then we can get to decorating. I mean, at this point, you know I'm going to put flowers on, right? Because why not? It's spring. This year I tried to plant all my own flowers from seeds, but I think I'm still going to be going to the nursery to get more because they're kind of slow growing. Okay, so that's that one. Now the next thing is to bring in our punch, our fresh flower punch, and my scrap pink and yellow. This one's going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to punch out a few of them. This is just scrap paper that I have. I'm going to try it this way again, see if I could do it without. And I'm going to keep them separated because I do want the petals and the circle. I don't know about the circles, but we're going to keep them all separated for now. And I'm going to do three yellow and probably 3 or 4 pinks. Okay. Let's see if I can get one more. Okay, I did. I got those. Don't need this one. And some pink. I really want to brighten up this border because I used the dark green. Kind of went back and forth about that. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that, but I decided it looked the best on the dark green. So now I want to brighten it up. I want to add a little springtime to this border. Oops, I want to keep these a little separated. There it is. And one more, let's see. Actually, I'm going to do 4. So I don't have to bring the punch back out for my companion piece. Okay. And bring back in my mat. And I'm going to start to assemble my flowers. So this will take a little bit of time. And I think this is something that if you're looking for something to do while you're watching TV, then this is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the petals back in and put it on top of the flower here. And I've done this before. You might have seen me do it on another video. And I just love using this punch this way. I've also tried backing it, the whole flower, which looks very beautiful as well. But this has been my favorite way to use it. You get 7 little petals when you punch it out. And I'm just going to bring them into the center. It doesn't have to be any kind of certain alignment or anything. Nobody's going to look that closely. But I just think it adds so much to the flower. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to do it to the pink ones and the yellow ones. And then I'm going to come back in with the little dot of the opposite, so whatever punched out, and we'll use that as our decoration. Okay, so I'm going to try to go really fast here for you. But this is, and sometimes if you have your pattern paper where you like both sides, then that's awesome. And this pink one, I didn't really care for the back side, not for the flowers. So, but you could mix and match so many if you had different colored pattern papers on them. Okay. Who else is loving this punch? Let me know. Have you, this one you had, one that you added to your collection? Is this too much work? Would you do this? Ah, that repo sticks to everything. Let's put one. Oh, we'll go ahead and decorate it though, because we're going to need it decorated for our companion piece as well. So the yellow kind of has a little bit of a bright side and a little bit dull side, but I'm not really paying attention. I'm just trying to pick the brighter side if there was. Oops. And one more. It's repo if I really want to come back later and straighten them all out. I still can. And yellow. Yes, I think it's worth the effort too, because it really just makes this punch beautiful. I felt like it needs something, right? It either needs to be backed, getting kind of spread out there, with something, or this. And since this is here anyway, why not? Bring that fallout back in. Oops. 2 stuck together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See if I can count. We all saw how that went earlier. Let's move this one up. Well, it's kind of easy because there's like these little runs on the flower. You just match them up. Okay, that one got a little spread out, but that's okay. You see, it doesn't really matter too much. I might need to punch out one more yellow one because I had one extra pink flower and I'm gonna need more petals. I'm gonna have to punch it out just for its petals. I'll just keep the flower for another layout. Oh, I only got 6 on that one, but you know what? It's going to be fine too. Okay, so there's the ones for our border. Let's go ahead and get these done for the companion piece. Let me punch one more out. This one I'll save. Did I already? I did. So there must have been a couple that I didn't use 7 on. The way I'm counting today, you guys would be surprised. I used to teach preschoolers. Oh. Ah. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to rush and I shouldn't. Was anybody crafting today? Anyone crafting? Oh, you know what? There's no repo. There we go. That's why it's not sticking. Anybody else in their craft room? What are you making today? What is going on with this one? Let's make it a little tighter, get 7 on here. And is this pink? It is. Okay. Let's put that one aside for our companion piece. One more. We're getting there. Guess I could have done a few of these before. Yeah, it's really not that hard. Okay. Oops. I've been putting them really tight into the center because it leaves a smaller hole, and then you could, it's easier to cover up. So the what looks really cute is those gems also. I have a few extra. I have the extra pink one, so I might come back later on after and do that one flower, that extra one, and complete it so that I'm looking for my dot. Where's my dot? Where's my pink dot? Oh no. No, I need yellow. I need a yellow dot. So that it's ready to go. There we go. Okay, so those 2 are done for our companion piece. Let's slide our border back in here and finish this up. For this one, I did crack into my new blue flowers that I just got. And I have some leaves left over from my old pack, so it's a combination of everything. And I'm just going to, actually I kind of like how I staggered those as I was making them, so let me come on back through and put these down. Might make a couple adjustments, but for the most part it looks pretty good. The nice big wide border. This one can go vertical or horizontal. I'll bring in a title here and we could decide. Okay. There's that. And then these, no, they were stuck together. Make sure I don't have, I'm not going to use 4. Oh, you know what? We'll put one over there. Maybe that's what it was. And then I'm going to come back through. I want to add a little bit of blue. I have a lot of green going on here. So I want to put a little bit of blue. So let's just figure out our placement here and here. Let's see. Let's move this one up. How do I want to do that? I kind of want this one on this side. So let's move this one over. This one here. And then maybe down around here somewhere. Let's move this one up. And then like that. Again, I went with 3. Okay, let's go ahead and get some get these adhered down. Kind of like it in the little pocket here, and hanging into the green border. Okay, not that I have enough green on here, but I'm bringing these leaves in because it has almost a yellow look to it with that gold foiling, and I'm just going to tuck those in right here, and probably all the pink ones. And I ran out of the darker one, so I have that lighter one, and I think it's going to be fine. This one's only a half of one. I must have used the leaf for something else, and it'll go like that. Let's bring in my sticker sheet, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere these while I'm reading those stickers. I think I know, I like the blue one. It's cute. It says spring is in the air, and I think blue is what I need. This Birds and Blossoms does not have pink, so I'm not going to find a pink one there. There's a yellow sun that says you are my sunshine. That's cute. But let's go with the blue one and see if we could find a place to put it. Might have to make a couple adjustments on some of our, I like it kind of here. Now, if you want it to go horizontally, I'd probably do like that. Maybe move this one. And, or if I'm probably going to do it vertical. I like it right about here. Let's get it some foam for that. I have that empty space right there. I think it's going to be perfect. Oops, let's leave one of those on the back because this will have to be taken off when it gets onto the layout. And yeah, I think I'm going to put it right there. Any other open ones? Don't want it to stick to everything before then. See if that works. Okay, there we go. There's our third border, and that didn't work. Okay, it's not going to stick to too many things. So this is our third border. It's a little bit wider one than the previous 2, but I like it. It's still, you could still, you know, I spent a lot of time on the border, so you know I'm not going to spend much time on the page. So let's go ahead and do our companion piece. This one will go a little bit simpler on, and we already did our flowers, so that part's good. Let's move our mat. And for our companion piece, I'm going to bring back in my green and my shimmer. So my 2 greens and my flowers. Let's put those aside. So from my shimmer paper, I hope I have, yep, okay, good. I've got my straight blade in, and I need a 4-inch piece. I'm going to make a journaling box for this one. So let's take that out and bring back in our spring leaf punch. And this is 4 inches. I'll get 2 punch outs at the top of this journaling box. So it'll look like that. Now we have to decide how big of a journaling box we want. And let's see, this is going to take up, you know, probably like a whole photo space on your page. So if you have the room, I'm going to do 5 inches. And I do need to bring in some lined paper to actually, I wouldn't want to write straight onto my shimmer. I guess you maybe could. but whoops, I like my lined paper. This one is 3 3/4 width, which is going to fit perfectly in here because that was a 4-inch. And so this was 5 inches. I'm going to make it about, not quite 4 inches. We'll go 3 3/4. Is that right? 3. Let's bring it over here. Yeah, let's try 3 3/4. If I need to trim it down, that's easier than adding to it. I'm just going to take off a teeny bit. 3 1/2. So it'll be 3 1/2 maybe. Let's just take off a little piece. 1/8. Yeah, so that's going to be about what? 6/8 to fit in there. So it's going to go like that. But I like to pop, I want to be able to pop out this, the flowers, I mean the leaves again, like we did over here. So I'm going to bring back in the dark green. This was 5 inches. So I'll probably go 5 1/4 inch. Let's turn this to the flat edge. 5 1/4 inches. Yeah, I just want a little bit. By 4 1/4. Let's try it. See, my map was okay here. There we go. So it'll look like that next to our other piece here. Let me go ahead and adhere this down. Nice big journaling spot compared to my first border where I had a little tiny, tiny one. Let's see, I'll do this way. Okay, and now to bring in the same colors and the elements, I have my flowers already done. So I would just do something like this where I'm going to stagger them, add that little blue one. I have this nice big journaling box, so I have plenty of room. It'll look something like that. And you can even go more on the journaling box if you feel like you have more to say. Or less to say, in my case. Okay, let's see. Off a little bit there, hanging off, and then we'll do something like this. And then the blue one. Maybe I'm going to come down so I'm not too much into my journaling box. Then I think I want to bring in a word sticker on this one. So I have this. I don't think I have any springy ones here. Let's see. Take a stroll would be cute, but not sure. So let's go over here. I'm really making a dent in these. This one's, you can see I've already tried some on other layouts. Oh, they're so cute. Always in my heart. Enjoy the little things. That's cute. This one's popping off at me, so let's take it. It says, today's the day. Will it fit? And I'm just going to come over here. Yep, it fits perfectly. I just have it a little bit tucked under. Some gems would be really cute here. What do you guys think? Why not? Let's bring in some of these gems. Open this up. I'm going to go with the blue ones. The lighter ones. And see. Let's come back to that one. Now I don't know. Oh, you know what? On the green will look nice. light blue. Let's come down over, nope, not too close to the other blue. I have rules. Just kidding. There's no rules in scrapbooking. And let's come up here to the top. There we go. I think I actually want a pink one over here. Some cute ones. I'll do it over here. There we go. Some little extra little bling. And that's number 3. Woo! Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. I thought we were going to whip through 3 of them. Let me bring in a piece of white paper, and I could try and bring them all back in so we could see it. But that's number 3, border and companion piece. Let's see if they'll all fit. I don't know, but I should have brought 2 pieces of white paper. I'll just use my desktop. I think you guys can see it on my desktop just as easy. Let's put them in order. And I'll get number 1. It's been a while since we saw number 1. Number 3, let's move the trimmer out of the way. And this will go with number 1. And our journal and our border for number 1. There we go. Can you see them all? Move all this out of your way. There you go. All 3 borders and companion pieces for our spring layouts. What do you guys think? Thank you. Okay, that was fun. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I know we kind of went really long today, but thank you for hanging out and walking through these borders with me. I appreciate your time. And I hope that this inspires you some way. I know you're saying you don't have the butterfly, but any kind of, like, if you have a dragonfly or a ladybug or anything, or a die cut would be cute on there, or even more flowers. But yeah, I like them. I think I'm ready to do some spring layouts now. Got to take some pictures of my garden, and then I'll be ready to go. Let me come on back. Let me find my mouse here. Here we go. And say thank you. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. I hope that you had fun. I hope that you found something to get inspired with today. And I certainly did. I feel like I want to stay in my craft room all day now and forget that sunshine and hang out in here and get some more done. So thank you all. And I'll be back in 2 weeks for another live, and we'll see what we're going to do. Okay, take care, everybody. Until next time. Bye.